What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Animeuk, and I'm going to be doing a reaction on Lost Ark today. I've been looking for a MMO, and this is one of them that's upcoming. I know it's already out in Korea, and I'm pretty sure Russia, but it's coming to Western, like EU, NA, and I'm really excited to play this game. I have looked at a few guides and videos, and we're just going to look at the classes today and give a little reaction. Um, this is Sywo on YouTube. I think that's how you say it. But I've actually looked at a few of his videos. Very good YouTube creator content. I think he gives really good guides. I think he's been playing Lost Ark even on the like North Korean bit and then Russia. So he's got a lot of experience on the game. So we're just gonna get a class reaction from him and see what it's all about. Let's go.
I have two choices. Either you see my haircut
Oh, and sorry, this might be a bit of a long video. As you can see, it's about 28 minutes, but we'll see how it goes.
or I promote my t-shirt and we talk like this. Hi everyone, in today's video I'm gonna help you choose your class in Lost Ark. I
Let's
cannot
go.
believe that we got to a point where I can finally have this video for the western version of the game. It's so surreal. In case you're new to my channel, nice to meet you. My nickname is Sywo. I've been
There you
playing,
go. That's his
enjoying
name.
and covering Lost Ark
I'm
on
gonna
my
put a
channel
link
since
in the description to his
2018,
channel
and I
because
want to extend a
he's a
warm
really good
welcome to you in case
creator,
you're new to
content
the
creator.
game in general. From myself and from the community's behalf as well, and a special thank you to all of you who are members of my YouTube channel with the paid membership every month.
Go and
Your
join and
support is
subscribe his
just
channel,
off the
boys.
roof nice, and I really
As well, if you like
appreciate
the
it. Thank you
video,
so much for it.
subscribe,
Now
comment,
let's
and
get
like
into the
my
classes of
video,
the game. Lost
please.
Ark has base classes, 5 to be precise,
Okay.
these ones right here,
Where am I?
and
Someone's got on the
upon
beach.
hitting level 10 in game, each of
Oh,
these
this is gonna be so
5
hard.
base classes gives you an opportunity to choose one of the advanced classes each of them have, which this advanced class is going to be your class and for the rest of that character's life in game. You cannot change your class, you cannot add a
So it's like
secondary
a
class in
class of
the game,
subclasses, basically.
etc. Rumor has it that for the western release of the game, one of these 5 base classes is going to have one more advanced class. So we will have 15 advanced classes in total for the release. If that becomes
Okay.
true, I will have a separate short video covering this extra 15th advanced class, which I will link in the
I have seen
description
that you can
below.
sell as
Lost
well, which
Ark
is
does
pretty
not
cool.
have a healer, tank, DPS holy trinity. However, there are a couple of classes in the game
I'm quite
that
excited for
can
that, not having a
support and
tank and
even
healer. I
heal
know they
with a
do have
couple
a
of
bit of a
skills,
support
and
class,
also
I
one
have
class
heard.
that feels like a
But
tank from other MMORPGs, even though
I like just
it's
all
not
just
really
damage.
one. A couple of
That's my
other
type of game.
important things to note before we jump right into the classes. Number one, every single class in Lost Ark can and will finish all content in the game.
That's so
There
good.
are of
Good.
course
That's what
differences,
we like to
big
hear.
differences in between each of these classes, but they are not in the lines of will I be able to finish this or not. Number two, almost every skill that every class has in the game is an AoE skill because of the way combat works in the game. Having that said, there are classes which have a stronger AoE presence than
Okay.
others, and this is important to a certain
The
degree
class is pretty cool. Big
because at
fucking
end
gun.
game in Lost Ark you do have the opportunity to farm
A
a
mortar
lot
and
of
flamethrower.
dungeons which have thousands of mobs, and maybe for you playing a class that's stronger in the AoE department is a criteria for choosing your class, so I will mention it during my guide. Number 3, Lost Ark started as a gender-locked game, and this is an ongoing process to change that. It will take some time before every
Okay.
single advanced
Not too
class in
bad.
the
It's not the
game
end of the
has
world.
its other gender counterpart. For example, us in the West, we are getting one such gender unlocked class. The Gunslinger advanced class, part of the Gunner base class, is the female version of the Deadeye class. Number 4 and last, I would like to mention that classes have synergies
I'm guessing the
between
other
them in
version was a
terms of
male then.
what buffs they provide to the group or what debuffs they can bring with them for a boss fight, for example. And these synergies are kind of taken in consideration
I think
by
the spells look
players at
so
the
good,
end
and
game and
I
end
love how they
games
look
when
good
content
and all
actually gets
flashy
hard
and that.
when building a
The
party.
only thing
This is
I
also
do
the
know the
reason why
movements.
you don't see in Lost
I'm
Ark
used to like
a party
WASD
that
movement.
has a
I know it
double
is a bit
of the
different on
same
this, but
DPS class because these buffs and
I'm hoping
debuffs that
that's not going to
they
be too
bring
much of a
don't
problem.
stack with each other. Let's get into the
Oh,
classes
the
now.
big boys.
Warrior base class.
Oh, Advert.
Which at level 10 gives you a choice in between Berserker, Paladin, and Gun Lancer. Berserker first, simply because the meme is that everyone should main one.
It's a big boy right
They
there.
are a melee DPS class that wears a heavy armor, same as all warriors do, and a huge
He's been hitting
greatsword.
Jim.
Very badass class in terms of looks and sounds alike. Of course, size comes with consequences.
Look at the
So
size
they
of that
are not
fucking
the
sword, man.
fastest class in game in terms of attack speed and animations, which means
Oh, that class
you'll
is
have
so
to
good.
occasionally be careful. Not to mention that a
I love the red
berserker is one
attacks.
of the squishiest classes out of the heavy metal, slower, tanky ones in the game, but at the same time, they are actually one of the quicker
Look at the fucking
ones
bear
from
it's
the
fighting.
same
That's fucking
tanky,
awesome.
slowy bunch. Hand washes hand, basically. Easy to learn and not that hard to master either, which
Easy
makes
to
it a
learn. That's
top
what I like
choice
to hear.
for new players and in
Oh my
general,
god, he's just
a
chopping
top choice,
shit up there.
period. A berserker has access to really good damage and a lot of AoE, the real kind of AoE where it's actually longer range, wider in angles, easy to do, even all around you,
Oh my
gradual
god, how
mobs and
many
not just
fucking
some,
enemies
etc.,
are up?
which makes you, behind the keyboard, feel
Oh,
like you're actually doing good on a berserker.
they just all
And
got
chances
fucked.
are you're probably right. As for PvP, most times you're just gonna have a blast. Sometimes though, you're gonna die chasing sharpshooters,
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm
that's
interested
okay
in as
too.
well, PvP.
Berserker is perfectly
So
suited
hopefully it's
for
a
a
good
player who
class for
enjoys a
PvP as
more
well.
aggressive combat style, where you're kinda tanky but not the tankiest, kinda
I
mobile
like
but
how he
not
said it has a bit of
very much
movement on it.
mobile.
Like,
Moving on to Paladin now, one of the two support
okay,
classes currently in the game alongside the
the
Bard.
Holy
We'll talk
Warrior.
about that later. This is a hybrid melee and medium range class when it comes to skill range, but you will be supporting mostly, which is the thing you
This is what
care
I
about.
heard.
Paladins wear
There's a
a
few classes that are a
one-handed
bit
sword and a
support.
book. They use the sword for blue skills, which are
That's
mostly
cool.
melee range and have no supportive perks, and the book to cast the golden skills, which are mostly
Oh, I
the
guess
ones you're gonna
like
support with. Your focus, however,
a
will
book
be
for ranged attack. That's
supporting
pretty
and,
cool.
of course, same as every other class, participating to the CC phases and mechanics
And look at
in
the
most
areas, man.
group
That areas look
classes.
so
The
good, and
class
the
is
little weather
harder to
effects here as
play
well.
for several reasons. Not only you need to know all the mechanics for yourself to avoid them like every other DPS, but you also need to have a clear mind to place or cast your supportive skills at key times. Some of your supportive
I'm guessing
skills
this
are
one's a bit of a harder
telegraphs
class
on the
to play.
ground, so you need to place
Bit
them
more
at the right spot.
takes more
And
time
bosses
to
move a
get
lot.
used to it.
Also, placing it over a puddle of lava because you didn't know
Like,
the
some of these
mechanic
spells are
is
so
coming there
cool.
is not good either. Some of these supportive abilities have cast times, and in general, you are a slower, bulkier kind of class with only one mobility skill. So that means you'll have to have great positioning during fights in order to finish your casts, or even worse, maybe you're gonna get locked in animations and die. I guess a healer mentality, in air quotes, from other MMORPGs is needed here. As for PvP, the same applies. A good support class that works great with most comps. Plus,
Okay.
you'll have more freedom to DPS and CC in PvP because builds differ from PvE
I'm gonna
to
do a video on
PvP.
looking at the
As a
PvP as well,
paladin, you're the support who
because I
gives
am really
more
interested in that.
offense to groups, and the class goes great with players who enjoy this role. A class that looks and sounds very, not very, I guess slightly angelic, and feels that you're actually wearing a heavy armor, but you somehow still need to pull out a book and read it to your groupies. Moving on to Gun Lancer, the tankiest class in the game, melee kind of
Look at
playstyle,
the
wears
size
a
of that.
gun lance and a shield, and
Or
is the
sword slash
closest
gun,
you'll
should I
get
say?
at this time to a tank
Mate, the
from other
mobs are so cool
MMORPGs.
now.
Many defensive abilities for yourself and the group, some interesting mechanics where you can avoid damage by
Because it's from like
blocking it
North
at the
Korea, it
right
is a bit
time. So you can imagine that this
a little
class
bit Final
loves
Fantasy
to get
looking.
hit by things. You're gonna have access to a couple of taunts too, which are very useful to cancel some boss mechanics,
Ah, so
and
this is
as
the
a
other class
result,
that actually takes a
keeping
bit
the
more like
boss
skill and
on the spot for more DPS uptime that stay at the
a bit
back
more
of it.
learning.
The game considers a Gun Lancer a DPS class, and they're not really too shabby at it either, but don't expect you're gonna be rocking the charts at number one as a Gun Lancer, and that's perfectly fine because you are in fact a hybrid that brings his own decent, nice DPS and also gives a lot to the group overall. The class is not that hard to understand mechanically speaking, but at the same time you are sort of in the same boat as supports are, where on top of everything that a DPS needs to do and know in terms of mechanics, you also have extra responsibilities, such as cast your taunts at the right exact time so they can have value and actually interrupt something. Cast your group abilities, your group boons or defensive abilities at the right time, not before
Okay.
or after. So this makes the class harder,
I think out
let's
of the
say,
warrior
than a
classes so
DPS. So
far, I
stay
definitely like
PvP, you're
Berserker.
very
You're
annoying
just some
and
angry
do some
big
decent deeps. Always front line,
bastard that
disrupting
just
the opponents, making sure your DPS have an easier
slays
time
and
to
kills
get close
everything.
and hitting
This is a
their
pretty cool
spells,
class though.
peeling for them.
But
You're
I'm not
quite
all that
slow
on
though,
like
but
having a
with the right
shield
player
and that.
behind the
I
keyboard,
don't really
you're
like
just gonna have a blast. Gun
the
Lancer
look of that.
is a
But the
perfect
weapon
pick
looks fucking cool.
for players who enjoy the tank feel from
Weapon looks
other
fucking
MMORPGs and a
sick.
slower, more calculated, disruptive kind of playstyle. We're moving on to the next base class, which is the martial artist. As the
Okay.
name implies,
I'm
all
gonna be
classes
honest,
here
guys.
have this
Like
martial arts
that
vibe to their gameplay.
martial
Very
arts
interesting.
monk
First one, the
classes
War Dancer,
hasn't
a
ever
melee that
really
wears
tickled my
light
fancy, to be
gauntlets
honest.
as weapons and
But
is
we'll have a
one
look.
of the
We'll have a look. See
fastest
what it's about.
classes in our release in terms of
That's some Street
attack
Fighter
speed,
Dragon Ball Z
animation
shit right
speed, and
there.
mobility as well. Many Korean players believe that classes which are fast or mobile are easier to play because of that.
Yeah, this class does look a
They
lot
never
faster.
get locked in animations,
Definitely got
nor
lighter
do
armor,
they
obviously,
mind
as
if
well.
they miss one of their skills,
Was
as
he using
cooldowns
like
are short, so they can cast
gauntlets?
it again later. And I can understand the logic, but in my opinion, I believe it's a tough class to really get to shine on. Besides the fact that you're
Oh,
squishy,
it's gonna be a
your
hard
attacks
class.
are more concentrated, and as such, positioning is key because you
There's
don't
usually some
have
like
that
Tekken Street
immense
Fighter shit.
radius for all of your attacks. And when you need
Yeah,
to be
that's cool
close,
though. I can't
reaction
lie.
time also needs to, step up its game. The combat though is very enjoyable. You feel like you're flowing with the wind with your skills.
I suppose
And
that would be good.
combos
Like
are
feeling
also a
fast
thing
and
with
like
war
flowy
dancers.
combat is
Noticeable,
a lot more
especially
fun,
in
I guess.
PvP, where you need to have a in and out approach as opposed to full ham. Managing cooldowns is important because you don't have an eject button like many other classes do. So getting caught unprepared or in the middle of things in PvP means you actually just died. You also provide a crit chance and an attack speed buff to allies,
That's good.
which is very nice to have in both PvE and PvP content. Fits great with players who enjoy a fast-paced combat, high-risk, high-reward kind of thing. Needs a cautious approach to PvP.
I love how the
sort of
mobs
a-
just
sort
explode
of
like
a
that.
killer approach to it, but when you do it right,
I hope
it's
like when you're
like a
actually playing it,
wow
like the
moment
sounds
that you
and
don't really
the
get to
spells
see
as well. I hope
in
it all
many
just
other
like
classes.
fits.
Next advanced class is the Scrapper, a melee
The
DPS
Scrapper.
which wears
Okay.
heavy gauntlets as weapons.
Heavy
The
gauntlets.
angry version of a war dancer, if you may. Not that they have anything in common, but Scrapper simply feels heavier, let's say. With that comes slightly
Okay, that was
longer
fucking
animations,
sick.
slightly fewer
Those two
mobility
dragons were
skills,
fucking
cooldowns,
sick.
and so on. When I think about Lost Ark in general as a game, Scrapper is like the poster class that comes to my mind. Maybe because I've just seen so many when I started playing the game. Maybe it's
I bet it
something
does
else.
have a lot of
Regardless,
health,
it's a very
doesn't
nice class to
it?
play.
Seen a
Very
few
well
classes go against that
rounded,
already.
to a point where you will have equally much fun in PvE and
Yeah, I love
PvP
that.
because
I
it's
love that move. That
equally
move's
as good
so
in both.
cool.
Easy to learn and understand at a theoretical level, but needs a few weeks of practice to really get into balancing your chi. And even though there is some sort of order your skills should be used in, I believe it's one of the best classes for new players to experience the game.
Okay.
Sounds great, looks great, feels just right, perfect for a player who enjoys a martial arts gameplay on a
See that's
sort
never
of
really interested me, but it
brutal
does look cool
class
though. I can't lie,
that's
it does
actually
look very
well
cool.
rounded. Lastly, from the martial artists is the Soul Fist, a melee
Okay,
DPS
what weapon is that?
that also has access to quite some range skills. So it feels more like a hybrid, even though you'll never only going to get to play range.
There's like some aura around him, like fucking
In many
Goku.
people's opinion, the Soul Fist is a jack of all trades, a master of none. So I'm gonna say the same thing as I said since 2019 about them. They are a jack of all trades and a master of one at a time, whatever
I don't
trait
know,
they
the
wish to
moves don't
master.
look as good on
I
this one.
believe this is a
Oh,
phenomenal
wait,
advanced
oh
class.
my.
It gives you so
We
many
got some fucking
options for
father and
so
son
many
coming
different
on me out, eh?
situations that you'll always be able to customize it for what you
Wait, look at the
want to
phoenix.
get
So
out of it.
that's
I
so
also
good. Or the
believe it's a
bird, whatever it
hard
is.
class to master, not very straightforward to really,
That was literally
let's
father and son
say,
coming me
get
on, no?
your role and which skill to use now and especially why. In other regions there were a lot of people trying it, not many kept at it until the end, but my god, when you
Just a
saw
little coming
that
on me on there.
special someone who was a soulfist and really understood it, absolutely glorious. In my opinion, a great
It does have
class in
some better
PvE
looking
and
moves than I
great in
thought though.
PvP too. I love a Soul Fist for its style, ability, and history in Lost Ark, and I highly recommend you give it a try. No hard feelings if you don't like it, it's really not for everyone, but definitely worth giving it a try. Perfectly suited for a player who enjoys a martial arts gameplay with a dash of magic to it. Melee when you're going for the jugular,
That's literally
ranged
a
when
fucking
you're
spirit
just
bomb right there.
fishing. Sort of a I'm just
Holy
smarter than
shit!
you
Now
kind
that
of
moves,
gameplay. Very very
that
interesting.
moves definitely.
Next
I
base class
I just
is
played a
the
class just for
gunner,
that.
which branches out into
Oh, we got
gunslinger,
the gunners now.
artillerist, deadeye, and sharpshooter. I'm gonna take both gunslinger and deadeye together as they are the male and female versions of each other, so they are similar. But I will
Okay.
explain also the differences. As a weapon, both
Is that
Gunslinger
three
and
type of
Deadeye have
weapons on
three
his
of
bar
them,
there?
a set
That's
of
like
two
dual
pistols, a
pistols.
shotgun, and a
Okay.
sniper rifle.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Pistols and
All right.
shotgun
That
have
explains
a
it.
short to medium range, while sniper can be used from very far away. Each of these three
That's pretty
weapons
cool.
comes with a set of different skills and range to it, so it's quite an unique experience to have to constantly swap the weapon that's
Yeah, I was gonna say,
to
do you
the
have to
weapon
keep
that's
like
the
switching
most fitting
between?
for the
Because that could get
situation. They are
a bit hectic,
considered
right?
as a ranged class, but in reality, you're gonna spend half your time close up to your enemies. Well, in PvE, everyone is together close up anyway, so range doesn't really matter there. But in
Right.
PvP, you're gonna have to approach your target very often to get off important
There's
skills.
a lot of dodges. I
Gunslingers
suppose it's
have
quite
an
got a lot
advantage
of
in terms of
mobility.
range because all of their sniper skills are actually really good compared to a Deadeye's. So you're gonna spend a bit fewer time close up if you're playing Gunslinger in terms of PvP content. It's fine either way though, because you're one of the most mobile classes in the game, so you can get
Okay,
away
yeah, I can
once
see
you
that.
master the gameplay. Shotgun skills, however, provide more value in the hands of a Deadeye because of the traits and the class configuration options that you have.
It is cool
They
how you
do
can
more
switch
damage
between all
from
three of those
behind, for
weapons, though. And that's
example,
pretty
which is a
fucking
great
badass.
asset in PvE content especially. Weapon swapping is also different for the two classes, Gunslinger and Deadeye. You do it at different intervals.
Your video ad made by top freelancers on Fiverr is destroying
These
the
adverts,
internet. They wrote the script.
And for different reasons too. I personally find both of these classes harder to play than most others because of the weapon swap mechanic and the fast fingers you
Yeah, I
need
was gonna
in
say it does
general,
that.
no
That definitely
ping,
looks more difficult.
sprinkled with a dash of you're squishy, but you get used to it, and if you play it seriously for some time, you're not gonna have problems. Both Gunslinger and Deadeye are fitting for players who enjoy a fast-paced combat. Guns, the Wild Wild West, a hybrid
It is
playstyle
a pretty cool
with three
class.
weapons to
I'm
manage,
still
and you
swayed
want
him
to
to the first
maybe
fucking
take
class.
on a little bit of a challenge mastering these classes, especially the Deadeye. Next advanced class is the artillerist here. They use a
Yeah,
two-handed
it's some big ass
machine
fucking
gun style
mortar,
weapon that also
fucking
transforms into a
chainsaw,
flamethrower,
flamethrowing
and
looking
a
thing.
rocket launcher. Ranged class with just the right amount of, let's say, mid to short
I
range
could put up
skills.
turrets as
The
well.
ultimate boy's dream, I have to say. The class is easy to understand at a theoretical level, nothing quirky or mechanically difficult in terms of gameplay. But when it comes to actually playing it, things get a little bit interesting. On top of the fact that the class is slow in terms of skill animations, mobility, etc., many of the artillery skills are targeted at an area, and from the moment you cast them to the moment
Oh
when they
my
go
god,
off,
what the
things
fuck is
happen
that?
in Lost Ark. Life changes, dynasties fall. A boss in PvE might move away from your targeted
That's
area due to a mechanic.
ridiculous.
A player in PvP will most likely move away from it, and there's quite some skills that behave like this for the artillerist. You need what I would call tribal intuition or a flawless execution, or luck to pull off everything.
2 seconds,
But
guys. Speed
if
back.
you do,
2 seconds.
I believe this class has the potential to do amazing damage in PvE content on top
Just
of
have
the
to close my
fact that
door.
it has monstrous AoE capabilities.
Yeah, that's fucking
In
ridiculous.
PvP,
That
well,
that's,
that's a little bit of a different story. I've seen artillerists in the highest PvP rank, sure, not very many of them at all, but people
okay.
sort of prefer to play classes that are somewhat more
It looks like it does a shit ton of damage
straightforward,
though.
without this she loves me not kind of factor. You can imagine that the higher you climb in PvP
It's fuck.
rank,
It
the
is
better
a cool
players you're
class,
gonna
but
meet. So
that's
it's
not me.
harder. But a
It does
smarter
look
player than
cool.
me once said, Grandmaster wish you achieved
I
with
don't think that's gonna be like
artillerists?
my starting
Adjust your
class. I do want to
playstyle
try all the
neatly
classes
to
though. I
the
definitely want
situation.
to
And he's
dab
probably
into a
right.
few of
I
them because
personally love this class since I tried it for the first time in 2018.
I
And
did
up
like the
until
one
today. I
we
think
swapped
it's a
between the 3
lot of
guns.
fun,
That was
quite
pretty cool as well.
survivable,
To be
even
fair.
if not mobile. High DPS if you hit all of your things, and most importantly, one of the most unique gameplay experiences in Lost Ark and in MMORPGs in general. Quite frankly, the only other MMO where I've seen something similar before is Guild Wars 2 with the Engineer. Fits perfectly with a player that enjoys a slower
I've never
paced
played Guild Wars.
combat with a lot of control and big numbers on the screen. If you hit, amazing for AoE damage, as I said, a player who is okay with the highs being really high and the lows being quite embarrassing. Next advanced class is the Sharpshooter, the ranger class from
I've
other
I've
MMORPGs, a
always
ranged
have
class
liked
that wears a special
rangers,
kind of bow, more of
burners.
a modern or futuristic one as opposed to what you've seen
What's
before
that bird?
in other games that made out of wood and stuff, and has a pet hawk to help him out. The only class that has a hide mechanic out of the classes we're getting at launch for
Okay, so you got a bit of stealth there
and
as well
that
then.
comes in very much handy for PvP content. Speaking about PvP, on top of the hide, you also have range to your advantage, where you can sometimes be so far that you're not even on the screen.
Does it have a melee as well? It
Mobile
looked like it
class
had a
as
little
well,
melee
but as
attack
much
as
as it's
well.
mobile, it's squishy also. PvE content feels great as a sharpshooter. For some reason, the class is exactly as you would
Oh, that's cool.
let's
That
say,
little
expect a ranger to be.
clicked his
Very
fingers and there was a
familiar,
fire,
if I
bit
think
of like a
about
wall
it,
of
but
fire
with
there.
a touch of Lost Ark to it.
That's
Performs
cool.
well in all aspects of the game. Perfectly fit for a player who has played Rangers before and liked it, or someone who enjoys a back of the line, stealthy kind of gameplay, evasive, where you actually play as such to not even take any
Yeah,
damage.
I like how like it's
While
very
still
mobile
being
this
very
class. I do
impactful
like that.
to the match, the PvP
Which
match,
is
for
obvious it
example.
would
The
have been
class
anyway,
has
but
really nice AoE
it looks like it has
also.
like look. It looks
Moving
like it has
on
a
to
few
the
melee.
mage-based class, which contains the
Here we
bard
go.
and the summoner. Bards are the other support class in
I
the
have seen
game,
they have
the first
sorceress
support
as
class
well.
that was available in Lost Ark since day
I'm not
one,
gonna lie.
for quite some time until
I think that would
Paladin
interest
came
me a bit more. I
about.
think it's more like
Bards use a harp, but you cannot
more
miss
of a
that,
like
as
a
everything you'll be
mage, like
hearing
elemental
all day
mage
long
based
are
class. But
harp notes. The class has an interesting
what's
playstyle
this
with a
bard?
variety
I
of,
heard this is the
let's
other
say,
support
visual
class as well.
range to their skills, and of course the interesting bard type experience. But you are expected to be a support in most PvE
Yeah.
content and bring some support skills in PvP too, as opposed to
I
the
mean, it's pretty cool.
paladin,
It's
which
not.
is,
It's not me at all.
let's say,
But
slightly better for the offensive side of the group. Bards are slightly better at keeping groups alive. I find the gameplay
yeah, I'm not
of
gonna
the
lie. I'm not gonna
bard
play this
is
class.
smoother, maybe a little
is
bit
not me at
more
all.
familiar, not so hiccupy as the paladin, but again, that might just be me.
I like
Again,
that blood
having a
splat.
support in your group makes things so much better for everyone. So playing a
Look how
bard
many
or a
mobs there
paladin
are. I love how there's like
guarantees
so
that
many.
you'll play a wanted and needed class. In terms of difficulty, supports are, in my opinion, as I've talked in the paladin section, harder to play than DPS classes, because you have to take care of others too on top of yourself. Not to mention some skills need to
That's cool.
be
Little
cast
bird thing. That's
at the
pretty cool.
exact right timing, not just pressed
What's
off
it doing?
cooldown like you do with some DPS classes. Bards will fit perfectly for a player who wants to support, likes that, enjoys these harp sounds, and also enjoys to be needed and wanted in groups. Next class is the Summoner, a ranged DPS class that uses a stage.
This is a bit like
Why should you invest in stocks
Warlock
on
and
eToro?
WoW.
With eToro, I can invest in stocks,
weapon. As the name suggests, the class can summon various, mostly AI controlled pets to help in combat. I say mostly AI controlled because some of these pets do have, let's say, one follow up skill that you can use yourself after summoning them by pressing the same button as you've summoned them with. So, one pet, for example, can charge an opponent and stun them, another pet can detonate itself on your command, etc. The class is quite easy to play and master, very fun and joyful too, and extremely pleasing visually due to the fantastic
Yeah,
skill
that like
animations it has.
troll golem
Not to
thing. That is
mention that it
one's pretty fucking
sounds
cool.
really good as well.
I like that.
Great AoE skills for the summoners, not as squishy as you'd expect from a mage, and quite rewarding to
What
play
the fuck was
as you
that?
will somehow
Was
always
that
do
horses
damage due
or?
to your pets, even
That's
if
a
you're
damn. That's
using heavy
badass. I like
mechanics
that.
or breaking some ankles in PvP, which is something that you have to do. Very immobile though, but then again, you have your
Ooh.
pets as backup and a few tricks up your
Yeah,
sleeve
I
if
like
you
some of the
want to.
effects on the
I
summer.
personally love PvP on Summoner, even
Okay.
though it has never really been considered as a top tier class. So for PvP,
Ooh,
so your
that dragon was
expectations
pretty cool
should
from
be
coming from the ground there.
accordingly. A great fit for a player who enjoys a slightly chaotic and very beautiful gameplay with a little bit of
I can't lie, some of it
AI
looks good.
controlled drama to it.
Some of it looks
The
definitely
last
fun.
base class we're talking about is the Assassin, which at
Oh,
level 10
I do
gives you
love
a
a bit of the
choice in
old
between a
assassin
Shadow Hunter
rogue
and a
slash
Deathblade.
ninja
May
classes.
I just say, though, right from the bat, what a beautiful visual orgy the Shadow Hunter
Okay,
is. I mean, it's just boom, 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 pow, pow,
let's have a look
splash,
at this one.
of dark, bloody goodness. This is a hybrid melee
Oh yeah,
mid-range DPS
that's
class
good.
with access to some range skills that are great to
Well,
set
they
up
got
your
like
melee
war glaives
approach,
of
for
like WoW,
example, in
innit?
terms of
That's what they look
PvP.
like.
Good damage as well, on top of the very exciting gameplay that
Oh,
it
did he just
brings. Worth
transform?
mentioning that Shadow Hunters have the ability to
Oh,
transform
that's badass. That's
into
badass.
the possessed version of themselves,
It's
at
definitely
which
very
point
flashy.
you
What's that?
hurt
That's behind
people,
it. It's just
and
like
as such, no one wants to be
a
around you.
demon
Quite
spawning
easy
behind
to
him as
learn
well.
and master, and the class itself
Yeah,
is
this is
quite
really flashy.
direct
I
and
love the
helpful
moves
to
of
the
this one. This
player,
one's
so
cool.
a great choice for new players and experienced alike.
I love that.
When the Assassin came out initially in Korea, I felt that the gameplay of the Assassin classes is very similar to what the martial artist classes do,
I love that
and I still feel
transformation.
that way today. But the ideas behind the assassins are unique, and the
You got
visuals
more
are
like
unique and
claws when you
great too.
transform.
Um, a new player to Lost Ark won't really feel the way I do. The class has really nice AoE also, by the way.
That's
Goes
good.
hand in glove with someone who enjoys a balanced gameplay in between caution and aggressiveness. Great
And
visuals
the
and
way he's saying it does
audio
sound like a very
with
good
a
class
with a
to start
feels
off with as
good
well.
vibe to the class in general.
Yeah, this is pretty
Lastly, we
cool.
have the Deathblade, a sword fighter type assassin. Reminds me a lot of Blade Master from Blade and Soul. Mobile,
Never played that.
squishy, with a
That's
fast-paced
cool. I like that attack. That
paintball-like
attack was badass as
combat.
well.
Really fun
Like,
actually. Quite
is it like
helpful with
slow
the
down
party
time or
too,
something? Like pause
as it
time and
gives
then dash ahead.
attack speed buff and an extra damage debuff to player
Oh,
level
that's a
bosses,
good.
which is great with
Is
so
that
many
passives or
compositions. Not that hard to
buff you have
play
to
or
put on?
master, and perfect fit for a player who likes a fast-paced combat and a fulfilling
Oh my
playing
god, this is gonna be
experience
so
that's
hard.
not that hard to
I'm
achieve.
definitely. I
And
think I'm
these
gonna
are
have to
my
make a
thoughts on
few
the
ults on
classes
this.
in Lost Ark. I hope this video gave you a little bit of a direction in
Yeah,
terms
you
of
just made it
where to
more
look for a
harder for me.
class that
Thanks.
fits you. I would also like to mention that in terms of balance for both PvE content and PvP, I believe that us in the West were quite blessed to get the game now when we get it, because Lost Ark is in the best state
Okay.
balance-wise
Yeah,
that it's
this
ever
game
been
looks
in.
so good.
So
Like, I'm
you're
definitely
not really
gonna
gonna be
get this game. I
forced or
definitely want to play it on launch.
advised
I want to
to
play the
play a
beta as
class
well. I
that
heard you can get the
just
beta
play
code. I
that
think
one
you can
because
sign up
that
for
and
it,
the
or
other
you
ones
can get
are the only two that
something to get it.
perform well.
But I
So
have to
I'm very
buy
happy
something.
for that. I wish you guys lots of love. Thank you so much again for watching. If you have any other questions that I might not have
Okay.
answered in this
Oh,
video,
I don't know what class I'm gonna play. I am swaying to more Berserker. I think Berserker was just the first class. Definitely, I definitely think I will start that class and main it. And he said it's a bit easier. For me, I'm all about just being lazy as possible and having an easy class to play. I'm definitely gonna make a few ults. Yeah, this game looks very good. I'm very excited to play this. But that's it for the video. If you like the video, comment, like, and subscribe. Also, I'm going to put a link in the description. I want you to follow him as well because I think his guides are really, really good. He goes into a lot of detail. Like, he pretty much asks every question that I want to ask him. Like, a lot of information, very good. So I'm going to put a link in the description to his channel, and I hope you go and follow, subscribe to him as well. But that'll be it for me, guys, and see you in the next one. Peace.